everybody. It's Deborah Poneman, founder of Yes to Success, where we share knowledge and tools for you to live your ultimate life. Ageless, anti aging for your brain, your body, and your future, and the awake method, because it's time for all of us to wake up. So last week I shared about what I called our own Red Sea moment. And I recalled how the Israelites, when they arrived at the Red Sea, called to God to help them. And God said, Matziach Elai, why are you calling to me? And at that moment, one man, just one man, with the Egyptian army behind them and the Red Sea in front of them, as the rest of our ancestors just stood frozen, this man waded into the water, believing that if God had brought us this far, she must not have brought us to perish. So, with complete faith in the power of the divine, he kept walking until the water was about to cover his mouth. And at that moment, the sea parted and the Israelites walked through. And as one of my favorite rabbis, Rabbi Peretz, who I was introduced to by my son, he shared in his weekly Substack. He said one morning he was giving a talk. I believe it was in some cafe somewhere, and somebody shouted, "The splitting of the sea was a natural event. It was just low tide." And he replied, "Possibly, but the miracle was the timing. Whether it was a miracle or low tide doesn't matter. The miracle is a miracle either way. The miracle is the willingness to step into the unknown at the right moment and discovering that the path is already opening for you." Then last week, I asked the question, what do we do when we face our own Red Sea? There's nothing wrong with calling to God for help, but as it also says in the Bible, faith without action is worthless. We can call to God, but we need to also take action with complete faith in the power of the divine. Even if the path seems unlikely to lead us to the exact outcome we want, we have to have faith if our desire is true and good. So the next question is, well, what kind of action can we take? As many of us are facing Red Sea moments in our lives on many fronts. And I pondered this question during this past week, and I was, as always, graciously given a beautiful answer, this time from the angels via angel communicator Ann Albers, who I just absolutely adore. And this was the angel message that she just happened to send out this week. And the angel message was, I cut out a few paragraphs at the beginning. They said, when you are creating, you are in a steady stream of love. So you're taking the action to create. When you're creating, you are directing the power that creates universes. Think about when you're creating, you're directing the power that creates universes. By the very act of desiring something, then embarking on the path to create it, if only in a brief moment of thinking, okay, how will I feel when it arrives? You enter the flow of love, grace, and guidance. So when the world feeds you thoughts of hatred, division, fear, upset, don't ask, what should they do about it? But rather, what can I do? What can I do in this moment, right here and now, to create more love? Then do it. Maybe you can say a quick prayer, or admire the sunset, or clean out your junk drawer, or your pockets, or your purse. Can you pull out that book you've been meaning to read and read a page, thus creating time to escape into the world of marvelous words? Can you admire that apple that's sitting on your table? Dear ones, the vibration of creation does not require you to want something grand in order to tap into its flow. It only requires your sincere intention to create something loving, be it thought or thing, in the here and now. And once you enter in that creative flow, you're partnering with the love that creates worlds. You become part of ongoing creation. You become part of a vast wave of love reaching out to your planet Earth. Wow, think about that one. You become part of a vast wave of love reaching out to your planet Earth. You become the change and the solution rather than remaining tethered to the problem. You become, dear ones, an extension of the living presence of the divine. This is what you came to do. This is what you're called to do. For everything that irks or irritates you, there are 1,000 other things you can put your attention towards. Rather than trying to destroy the darkness, create more light. Rather than trying to destroy hate with hate, create more love. Rather than trying to destroy the ignorant, provide information. Rather than trying to destroy ideas you dislike, spread the ones you do like. Rather than being upset about the messy drawer, clean it out. Rather than focusing on people and news you don't like, create more love by focusing on that which you do. You can squander your lives trying to tear down those with whom you disagree, or you can put your time to good use by empowering those you love. Choose love, dear friends. Choose life. Choose creation over destruction. You will be the ones who benefit from such endeavors, and your world will benefit as well. You are here to call light into form, be it in the form of ordering a delicious takeout meal or in the form of a smile for a stranger. With each small, simple creation, you enter the eternal stream. And this, dear ones, is where you'll find your greatest power and joy. God bless you. We love you so very much. Signed, the angels. In a world so full of uncertainty, this message reminds us of something deeper, something enduring. We're living in turbulent times. Fear is loud, division is everywhere, the future feels uncertain. But we have the power to choose what we want to create and where we want to put our attention. And just as the earth tilts towards spring, life always moves in the direction of grace, even if it doesn't seem that way. Just as winter gives way to daffodils and tulips and lilacs, despair can give way to hope. Easter, whether you celebrate it religiously or a little more secularly, calls us back to the truth that even when things seem totally lost, something new can be born. The light always returns. Resurrection isn't just a story, it's a force that's within us. Right now, we are invited to choose. We can choose to rise above fear, to embody compassion, to become a presence of peace in our own homes, in our own communities, in our own conversations, to be a bringer of light, to create beauty in arenas where most people see only darkness. That's the action you can take. This is the moment to remember that you're not powerless. You can rise. You can help others rise. And by beginning anew each day, together we can create a world filled with light. Every act of love brings more light, and eventually we will reach a tipping point and the darkness will be gone. And I want to end this message with something else from Rabbi Peretz, where he asks us to think about the story of the Jews being freed from slavery that we commemorate during this holiday of Passover, and suggests to us that this year, as we retell that story of the time we were slaves in Egypt and we achieved our freedom, to ask ourselves, what parts of me are still enslaved? Enslaved by the ego, enslaved by old narratives, enslaved by old beliefs, old lies we were told about not being enough. Rabbi Peretz says that seeing Passover not just as history, but as a living map of transformation comes directly from his teacher, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, who recognized the power we all have as individuals and said, I love this quote, "The day you were born is the day God decided the world could not exist without you." It means, Rabbi Parrott says, that we are here with divine intention, a divine calling, that your birth is not a random event, but a cosmic assignment. And every year, especially on your birthday, you get to ask, am I living in alignment with the reason I was born? What if at this time where the Jews celebrate freedom and Christians celebrate rebirth, what if it could be a kind of collective birthday where we all get to celebrate the rebirth of the purpose we were put here for, the rebirth of you? May it be so. Happy Easter, happy Passover, and happy rebirth day. See you next week.